Alan McGregor didn't believe in luck. He believed in facts, figures, and the cold logic of antiques. It was his business, after all, buying and selling relics from the past, each with its own quiet story. But luck? Magic? Curses? But before we start our story, smash the like button, make sure to subscribe, and hit the notifications bell so you won't miss any new stories. Those were fairy tales, Alan told himself as he stood alone in the dim attic, dust particles swirling in the faint beam of his flashlight. Yet, why did he feel a chill creeping up his spine, whispering that perhaps he was wrong? Alan sighed. He had inherited this old house after his mother passed away. He had avoided going through her belongings for years, too busy with his shop. But now, forced to finally clear out the place, each creaking floorboard and shadowy corner made his skin crawl. Why did the attic always seem colder, darker, and more unsettling than any other room? Alan held his flashlight tighter, pushing aside cobweb-covered boxes, hoping to finish quickly. His gaze fell on the small drawer of a worn-out wooden dresser. What secrets lay hidden inside, waiting patiently for their moment? He felt a strange pull, as if something deep within called out to him. Curiosity won. Alan yanked the drawer open, its hinges protesting loudly. Inside, amidst faded letters, dusty coins, and forgotten jewelry, sat a small carved figure. Alan reached in and lifted it gently, holding it to the sliver of moonlight piercing a nearby crack in the roof. A chess piece, no taller than his finger, made of smooth, pale ivory, with a grim-faced rider perched upon a stern-looking horse. Alan felt his heart quicken. Why had his mother kept something so random? And why did the tiny knight seem to stare back at him with fierce, accusing eyes? "Just beautiful," he murmured softly, echoing words he'd heard once, perhaps from his mother, years ago. But was beauty really the reason she'd kept it hidden away? A cold draft swept through the attic, making Alan shiver. He clutched the figure tighter, suddenly aware of the silence pressing in around him, heavy and expectant. Why did he feel as if he'd just awakened something long asleep? He shook off the feeling, pocketing the piece. "Just old junk," he reassured himself, forcing a laugh that echoed hollowly in the darkness. But as Alan descended the creaking stairs, the tiny knight tucked safely in his pocket, he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. What had he really found? Days passed, and Alan soon forgot the unsettling feeling from the attic. Life returned to normal, his small antique shop in Inverness bustling with tourists and locals alike. The mysterious chess piece lay forgotten in a drawer once more. Yet, sometimes when the shop grew quiet, Alan would find himself staring absently at the drawer, a chill whispering through him. Why couldn't he shake the feeling that he'd missed something important? Then one rainy evening, Alan busied himself sorting through old inventory. He opened the drawer to retrieve a pen, and there it was again, the ivory knight. He pulled it out, turning it slowly in his fingers. Under the dim lamplight, the figure's eyes seemed darker, deeper, almost alive. Why did it feel as if this knight carried a secret waiting for him alone? On impulse, Alan snapped a photo and uploaded it to an online antique forum. "Anyone recognize this?" he typed casually. He leaned back, sipping warm tea, his skepticism firmly in place. But minutes later, his phone buzzed repeatedly. Replies flooded in, frantic and amazed. "Where did you find this? Impossible, can't be real. Looks exactly like a Lewis chessman." Alan frowned, confusion and disbelief gripping him. Lewis chessman? He quickly searched the term, his heart racing as he scrolled through images. Dozens of ancient ivory chess figures stared back at him, fierce, haunting, and eerily similar. Could his mother's odd little knight truly be part of something so rare, so valuable? Had he unknowingly possessed a piece of history all these years? Alan contacted experts immediately. Soon, a renowned historian named Dr. Elizabeth Carter arrived at his shop, eyes sparkling with excitement. She carefully examined the figure beneath a magnifying glass, her breathing quickening. "You have no idea how important this is, Mr. McGregor," she whispered. Alan swallowed hard. "Tell me." She lifted her gaze, eyes wide with awe. It's one of the Lewis chessmen, lost for centuries, priceless. What is so special about these chess sets and the pieces that belong to them is that they have been preserved so well despite their age. The medieval figures are a wonderful example of Romanesque ivory carvings of the highest quality. In the 12th century, chess from Arabia via Sicily and Spain slowly found its way to Europe. The Vikings were trading with the Arabs around the Mediterranean at the time, so the chess game ended up in Scandinavia first. The Lewis chess pieces are thus part of the first chess set that carries a completely European signature. For example, the runner is represented as a bishop and no longer as an elephant, as it was in the Arab world. Together, all the pieces are seen as an important symbol of European civilization. In one of the popular Harry Potter movies, The Philosopher's Stone, chess figures were based on this age-old chess set, as shown in the image above. The figure was probably made in Trondheim, Norway. "My jaw dropped in astonishment," said the valuer investigating the piece. "Experts have always kept looking for the missing chess pieces, and here there was one." In fact, this is one of the greatest art treasures of the Vikings. Its value is estimated at 600,000 to 1 million euros. But how had such a treasure ended up forgotten in his mother's attic? And if it truly belonged to such an important set, what secrets did it hide? Word spread quickly. Soon, reporters, collectors, and curious locals crowded Alan's shop. Offers poured in, life-changing sums of money. Yet Alan hesitated, haunted by doubts and unanswered questions. Why did this tiny knight unsettle him so much? Why did he feel guilty for even considering selling it? Late at night, when the crowds finally cleared, Alan stood alone, staring down at the ivory knight. Its fierce eyes seemed to accuse him, silently judging his greed. What price could justify selling something so precious? Something his mother had guarded so closely. The next morning, Alan decided he needed answers. He drove to the Isle of Lewis, drawn by some mysterious urge. Perhaps he could find clues about the chessman's arrival there centuries ago. Days later, Alan stood before the National Museum of Scotland in Edinburgh, the chessman trembling gently in his palm. Crowds moved past him, oblivious to his inner turmoil. Could he truly give it up? Would this end the nightmares and strange whispers? Elizabeth Carter stepped out of the exhibit hall, smiling warmly. "They're waiting inside. Are you ready?" Alan hesitated, heart conflicted. He glanced down at the ivory knight, its fierce eyes softer now, almost pleading. He took a deep breath, stepping forward. "I'm ready." Inside, museum curators greeted him with reverence, carefully placing the knight among its ancient companions. Alan watched, relief washing over him as the chess set seemed finally complete, whole again after centuries. Yet, as he turned to leave, Alan paused. Had he truly ended it? Was the mystery solved? Or had he unknowingly set something new in motion?